You didn't bring enough for the whole class to hear.
Okay. So, yeah. So you've taken your hits, but you have terrified a portion of the. Oops, some of that moved. A portion of the populace, which puts you in a position a little bit better than you were earlier. Um, one of the. I don't mean to keep accidentally making that thing happen. One of the. Okay, we had a bar that you tended to hang out in.
Um,
That was the Leaky
the
Bucket.
leaky bucket.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Ulf comes in when you're sharing a drink.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple days ago. Goes, ha ha! Skovlanders, you, my brethren. Show those fucking foghounds how things work around here.
Huzzah!
Ulf
So-
Ironborn.
So tell us of your destruction. He's got some of his men with him, all of which seem in particularly high spirits. Tell us of this ass kicking you've delivered.
I
Pull my shirt aside and show him the scar on my shoulder.
my drink is nearly full, and I down it and say, "Oh, looks like I'm out. You fill him in. I'm going to get a refill."
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
And I
I'm
get
gonna-
up and I walk away
Yeah.
because I don't want to talk about it.
and I'll go to the bar and get him a drink. Walk it over to him.
No. Oh, you're getting Ironborn a drink? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he was me clicking for you because he's got his.
Okay.
Yeah, he was gonna have one of his men come, but is it clear you want to go up and talk?
So he walked into our bar with his own drink.
He didn't come straight from the door. Like he came in, got a drink, and then he and some of his gang that are with him.
I make polite excuses. I'm going to get a refill. Please fill Mr. Ironborn in. I wish I could settle on a fucking accent for this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I just
All right, fine.
I-
It's this.
and why I switch between.
I heard it was glorious.
It was
It was amazing.
something.
It was memorable, that's for sure.
The scar. That is a worthy battle scar. What caused it?
Sword and stupidity. Maybe not in that order.
He sort of laughs and kind of his shirt's sort of partly open. You can see a couple scars there. He goes, "Stupidity was the cause of much of mine as well."
Oh man, is this the scene in King of New York? Am I gonna end up in a romance with this guy?
I've not seen King of New York.
Not King of New York,
Gangs of-
Gangs of New York.
Okay, yeah,
King
Or,
of New
uh,
York, fake movie in West Wing that was
Yeah.
kind of like.
For a second there, I was thinking The Departed. What is it? Period. There's some people you can hit, and there's some people you can't hit. And he's not quite the person you can't hit, but he's close.
That's all right. I'm used to bleeding.
And just kind of knocks it back. He goes, "It's good for our people to be making a strong." I'm making him Russian. I don't want to make him Russian. I want to think more like Norwegian, but I don't really know what that accent sounds like. I keep thinking of what's his face from Big Lebowski and
Yeah.
all those other movies.
The Nihilist.
Yeah. Well, with that one guy,
Nihilist,
he's in
man.
goddamn
Oh,
everything.
Skarsgård or whatever.
Is it the one who was in Armageddon?
Yeah.
He played the
Yeah.
Russian in Armageddon, which maybe what is in my head. Right, but they ask, how do you make a weak Askeval? Or the actual name of all those things. Askeval city citizen tremble. You bring people of the north. You show them what it is to live hard.
Huzzah.
Well, that is one thing we are good at. Yes.
Boring without us, that's for sure.
You stirred up a hornet's nest.
I fear we have. I wonder how long we have until peace is brought at a cost we cannot afford.
You're looking for peace or destruction?
Well, destruction is a sort of peace.
Ideally, that peace is the one that your enemy finds, not the one that you find.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Also money to be found in peace, though.
You said what? No money to be found in peace?
There's also money to be found in peace.
That there is. But for now,
Hornets' nests are easily broken up.
we have made ourselves a little more obvious on the streets to primarily keep the foghounds out of this general turf, just in case.
So about where is his territory?
Yes.
Ulf's is probably not terribly. We can actually set that up if we want. Let me see what it actually says in the thing. Old Forge Taverns. He's tier 1, so he's a little bit above you.
Not for long. I mean,
Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and give him some territory?
so, why don't we hit his territory, take his turf, and be at war with everyone?
He's your friend right now.
Ish.
I'll move the war. Well, you got what, a 2 with him?
Actually, yeah, I think we do. I'm not looking at our faction, but
See
yeah.
how long he stays above us when the scar showing continues.
You have a place that you want to put Ulf?
We're at a 1 with Ulf.
Okay, so you're pretty well disposed, but you're not like huge friends. But that would not necessarily. Oh, actually, who is he specifically enemies with? Yeah, these are not ones he's specifically enemies with. So yeah, you won't necessarily bring him up there, but he is rather tickled by what you all
Amused. Pleasantly amused.
did. Yep. Oh, that one I forgot to do. There we go. I will make a little thing for Ulf Ironborn. Here in a moment, we'll decide where to place him on the map. I will make a very quick little thing for him.
Not too close, I hope.
Because he doesn't tangle too much specifically with the Foghounds. Those are not his
Oh, he
his
should be in the
main
north-
enemies.
he should
They're
be
not
in the
really.
north half, and then we'll eventually split the city with him.
There we go. No.
Is that something you're discussing here, dear sister? I need to know
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
if I'm to react in the game or not.
When I'm doing a bad American accent, that's out of character.
Okay.
I'm doing a bad any other accent.
Anybody have a preference on where we place Ulf?
Nope, no preference.
Okay.
I was thinking somewhere like the northern half of the city.
Wow,
Not the
that's
north-
big.
yeah,
He's got a lot of territory.
He's huge.
like the eastern half,
Ulf
maybe.
Ironborn. Wow.
What? Yeah, maybe like across the bridge from us. Because if he's there, we're gonna fight him like sooner than maybe we want to.
Either that or become allies. So we could go for Ulf.
Maybe like just across the bridges.
Oh, maybe up here? Okay. So that would put him in Brightstone?
Wow. That's a high class joint.
Was it the high class area?
Yep.
Yeah, probably. Is a Charter Hall a little less high class?
Yeah, Charter Hall's business.
Yeah, probably that one might make a little bit more sense.
Yeah. That's Charter Hall, right? Yeah.
Let me get back up there.
Yeah. This whole both sides of the river here are Charter Hall.
Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll want to put him kind of maybe close to the main river. And let's give him we'll put him in blue. So how about Ulf? Still relatively small, but let's go.
Is this like a park right here?
kind of in that area. Yeah, looks to be like a small park.
Start growing our weird trees there.
So, this evening, warriors drink on me.
Huzzah!
I raise my my glass mug, whatever I'm, holding, and start in on the Skovlandish anthem.
Skovland, 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 Skovland.
Yeah.
That's like the ball-
Skovland, Skovland.
It's to the same tune as the Ball State, Ball State, Ball State, Ball State.
I keep thinking of Moon over Parador. Parador, oh Parador.
We are better than you.
I would sing along. Not well.
Yeah, he's kind of drinks up, and like that evening, like while you're drinking, there's anybody particularly wants to do, or would you want to then do a little bit of a fast forward?
I'm just I don't necessarily trust Ulf. I respect him, but I know that he's here making a lot of grabs the same way we're making grabs.
Mm-hmm.
and he's a higher tier, so that makes him a little more dangerous to us, especially if we're coming up. So it's that keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being unfriendly at all. I'm being super friendly, but
We're not friends.
in a not letting him in on a whole lot of stuff kind of way.
Yeah. So yeah, where I was gonna steer the conversation was more that like, well, they talked to one of our people to make it sound more like it was just stupid brashness and not any kind of calculated like territory grab or anything.
Yeah. It's like you know what, they threatened. They said they were going to take our territory, and we showed them that they couldn't by taking theirs and killing some of them. And it was, and it made them very mad.
I appreciate proactivity.
We technically didn't actually get any territory, right? We just got sort of reputation and street cred.
Well, we took their claim. They were doing the extortion racket in that neighborhood, and we took over the protection racket in that neighborhood, whatever that is.
Okay, I thought that would be like a turf box.
I mean,
It's not turf.
Yeah, technically, in some respect, it's almost like, you're probably getting a little bit more kick to you, because with terrified citizens, those people are now no longer as afraid of the foghounds as they are of you.
Right. But also, as they get to know us, they'll realize that we're really not the kind who are going. I'm not going to shake them down. If they don't want to pay, they ain't got to pay. If they don't want to pay, we'll walk away, and then they'll pay the foghounds. But, if they want to pay us for protection, we'll genuinely protect them. It's weird. We're not protecting them from us. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's our commercial if we had one.
Yeah. Who you going to call? Sometimes foghounds show up, and who you going to call?
Yeah. We'll come in and take care of them.
Well, that's one. We almost took care of us.
Yeah. We'll try.
Yeah, and one thing you can also do, if you want to kind of look for a score, like one of those things you say, I'm going to put my ear to the ground to find scores of like specific types. We can kind of come up with one of those that may not be as directly against like another faction.
Yeah. I have a survey. I have 1 point in survey that would allow me to maybe do that. Survey location or situation, understand what's going on, sense trouble before it happens, gather information about opportunities or exploits.
Well, let's look at the types of operations we normally do.
Okay.
Which are battle, extortion, sabotage, smash and grab.
Okay.
So if somebody wants us to sabotage something for someone, that's one thing. We can keep an ear out for that. Or if we want to look for likely targets to smash and grab that aren't necessarily directly related to a gang, it might piss off a gang who's protection they're under or whatever, but
Yeah.
not smash and grab from the gang directly, killing their people and taking their shit.
Right. We might need a break from that for a bit.
Those are or extortion. I'm looking at those specifically because those are our MO. Those are the types of jobs we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to think about what we want to do as a crew, then that's the kind of stuff we do as a crew. If you look at our hunting grounds.
Yeah. And then there's also, like, if you want to put, like, an ear out for kind of things, I can do, there's, like, a thing I can do a couple rolls on. It's also kind of taken from Leverage a little bit. And then be like, here are some opportunities that popped up that may be a little further afield, but may be a good thing for money that doesn't necessarily have you pissing off someone right next to you.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Between Clinks and Edward and our fraternization here with Ulf that evening, and anything else, we don't necessarily have a group of informants yet, but we will. Hopefully, if we live that long.
It's on my honeydew list.
Trust me, it really is.
Get informants.
But yeah, we let's right now I think it's imperative that we just lie a little low. If just lie a little bit low, just for a minute.
I know this is gonna feel weird, but
I'm gonna try not to kill anyone.
Bro, what if we didn't kill anyone for like a whole morning and just see what that feels like?
I don't know. It feels strange.
I don't think so. I just don't think so. Here's the other thing. Of our items, is there anything we have to replace, or do the items just refresh?
I believe for the most part those things kind of refresh others.
Okay.
Like, I don't have to say, I'm going to refill my weapons and my extra ammo case and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think generally, unless you've got like a devil's bargain that'll be a little more specifically about that.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's on our items sheet, unless there's something specific that happens during a score or something, or during role play.
Okay.
Gotcha. In the meantime, I'm asking around because I've been cut off. So I'm by Grist. So I'm asking around for purveyors of, because I've heard that maybe my temper wouldn't be so bad. There stuff like trance powder might keep me from having such and I'm thinking that my temper and my tendency to do horrible, horrendous physical things might ultimately be detrimental to the group somehow.
Yeah. Who knows?
But you know what? I think that I'm just gonna we've got the leaky bucket right here. Instead of that, I'm just going to turn to alcohol. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm laying in. I'm
Tying it on.
Not tying it on, but I'm drinking more than you normally see me drink. Normally I'm keeping in fighting shape,
Like faster.
and now I'm keeping in trying not to keep myself in fighting shape. I'm trying not to remember because, I'm imagining that as my brother and my sister, you've kind of asked me about it because I don't want to talk about it, but I remember everything from when I was on that the Rage Essence. I mean, it's not like, oh, I blacked out. It's like, no, it's crystal clear. And I remember loving it. And
Yeah.
that's the worst part.
So you don't want to Hulk out again.
Yeah, I'm trying to not. I'm drinking to forget, is what I'm doing.
But
Right, but-
what trauma did you take, Paul?
Vicious, I think.
Oh shit, sister! Don't be like me.
Well, that's the one that like I wanted to play through it for a couple of sessions and then switch to.
Well, I understand. I mean, it's exactly what you should do. Be vicious. Don't take any shit.
Yeah, and then I was gonna settle into reckless.
Because
once I
that's
start
going to
feeling
be
guilty
helpful.
about it. We can go to therapy together.
Right. Meet my therapist, Dr. James Beam.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. James.
I drank more than half a bottle of Red Stag last night.
You were decently drunk last night.
I didn't realize it until I tried after that stream. I stood up, and I don't know if you've ever been drinking in a pool,
Mm-hmm.
but it holds you up. And I was drinking with friends in a pool once, and it was at their house, and his wife just kept refilling my drink in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I had to pee, so I got out of the pool, and gravity.
I used to manage a pool, and I've been in that situation where like, you kind of forget that like, oh, standing up isn't really automatic.
Yeah, no shit, because you're buoyant. and when I got out of that pool, I realized exactly how drunk I was, making my way to the bathroom and going, oh fuck, I'm in trouble.
Well, the drunkest I've been in a while was that the Project Dark game I played with Paul. Like, when I got up afterwards, I'm like, oh, fuck, I had a lot.
Yeah, that's where I was last night. I was, oh fuck.
You didn't seem drunk while you were running it.
It was afterwards. It's one of those things where I've had that before. There was one time where I was told, like, for directing a show, I'm like, a guy who worked on the board is like, look, we're like the ones you presented don't really fit with what we're doing, which is what usually what happens is we would do a back and forth on what I'm directing. But there's one script we have that we think you'd be good for. If you want it, you've got to let us know like tomorrow. I got it at like midnight. And I sat down with the computer, because it was the electronic copy. I sat down with my computer and I started reading it about midnight. Loved it. Wrote up a thing like, here's my ideas, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. I sent it off about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I stood up and I went to bed, and then the whole world started just revolving. And like I had to make myself throw up twice before I could actually like lay down and go to sleep.
Oh no.
Yeah, so in that one, you pretty much just like keeping an ear out and talking with them.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as it started going through, and just talking with some members of their group and some other people in that area, you notice that people are being a little nice, like not only giving all of you a wide berth, like the people of this sort of area, not Ulf's gang himself, but like the citizens there are a little extra nice to y'all if they do have some interactions, because they've heard tell of.
Is it an appreciative nice or a like, holy fuck, let's not piss these guys off nice?
You think
Doesn't matter.
Well, a little bit of it might also be there's plenty of small little crews, but you went after a big crew, and a bunch of death was thrown out, so that shit gets around.
And it wasn't us.
Yeah.
The bunch of death that got thrown out wasn't us.
The only thing that could have made that like maybe more terrifying was me not getting hurt. Because like, if we had walked away unscathed after just demolishing a crew.
Well, sister, allow me to make this suggestion. Perhaps you shouldn't go into battle with the attitude, oh, remember me? I'm a badass.
But I was that one time.
Well, that one time isn't fucking every time, is it?
Yeah, sometimes the dice are against me.
Sometimes you're me.
God.
Sun shines on every dog's ass once in a while.
The
I don't know why she's
sixes and the critical. If it weren't for that, your
I was
ass.
I was talking about you're me, meaning that the dice hate you. Usually the dice hate me. Sometimes you're me. Sometimes I get to be the badass, but usually I'm me. Right. Well, usually I'm me. Right.
Right.
Fuck.
Which one of you would be considered, from an outside perspective, to be the most reasonable one to approach about a gig?
I would assume Psy.
Well, I'm thinking I'm the most reasonable, but what's like the gender politics of the culture?
I think the way we're going to play it, because I don't necessarily want to have it like a thing where you're like there are going to be people who are going to be a bit probably misogynistic. I don't want to make it a huge
Yeah,
thing.
I'd rather not it be outright, but still, if
Yeah.
there's like a 50-50, they might default more to doggy. But if
you
it's more of like a sliding it in under the radar, maybe I'm the admin.
He said
You-
sliding it in.
you must understand though that if we come up against somebody who's absolutely misogynistic, they are going to be forced to deal solely with Psy
Oh yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah, she's our boss.
Nope, talk to Psy. That's what you need to do, is talk to Psy.
I want to talk to a man.
Psy is more a man than you'll
I have-
ever be.
I have bigger balls in my jewelry box than you've got in your pants.
I remember the guy you got from.
So
A little brother.
I need to just check the list of names and put them someplace.
Very well.
I've done that before. Okay. Kind of during this, while people are drinking and talking, sort of a slight dude at one point comes up, and the funny thing is this tavern fairly kind of rough and tumble?
I think so. I think it's
Yeah, I mean it's in Crowsfoot.
Yeah.
I mean it's a gang well, I mean, it's lower class gang tavern. Yeah.
There's not a death every night, but
Sometimes I'm drinking.
there's a lot of fighting that goes on.
You notice one person walks in who seems like a little sort of nervous, but is known to certain people here in Crowsfoot. Roth. Roth is the local church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, which is essentially the state religion. And having been playing the Thief games again, there is a big Hammerite thing to them where they're all about the body, honoring the body and abhorring the corrupt spirit world, which is a problem in a place with lots of ghosts.
The ministry is the state religion. Don't they know that?
Pagans.
Yeah, and Roth, as Roth comes in, is looking kind of at all three of you a little bit, but then eyes laid on Sai, who appears kind of the more approachable and probably also considered one of the more level-headed of the three.
Just
I
wait.
can't imagine why. I mean, obviously I'm super approachable and not intimidating at all.
Why is this intimidating? Tell me!
If this ice plays out, then Doggy's going to become the face of the group.
And
I stab him.
he orders like a wine, which they don't have much of. This is not a big wine bar.
Oh, what was that Disney movie with it was a live action movie about pirates, and the main character was like a 10-year-old kid that got on the pirate ship, and they kept he kept going to the tavern and they trying to drink mead, and they give him milk because he wasn't old enough, and then at the end of the movie he slips them all milk. No, oh yeah, it's just me.
Is there something that might have been like a Disney TV thing that the rest of us are too old to have seen?
probably.
I don't think
It's not the apple dumpling gang.
You guys aren't that much older than me.
How old are you, Paul?
40?
Oh, 44.
Yeah.
That was an episode of an alternate episode of Sweet Life on Deck.
No, it was a movie. I saw it in the theater.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Sweet Life on Deck is.
I only know that because I have children who watched it.
Oh, okay.
That's the sweet life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, and then they
on a cruise ship.
yeah.
I have heard of the name
You-
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I know almost nothing about it.
Yeah, you don't really, you're not missing anything.
Yeah, but
So
Roth.
he orders a wine.
Yeah, Roth has got a wine, and almost gingerly kind of brings it over to where he's sitting. He's like,
I
we
nudge
talk?
Doggy as when I see him ordering the wine, I just kind of nudge and give the head nod over. You know, just a quizzical look.
That's odd.
In terms, did they say anything about the Scovelander gods?
No,
Okay, so if we want to make up something, we can.
sure. We worship Ulf Iron. No, wait.
Yeah, kind of walks over. Goes, do you have a moment?
We have lots of moments.
Do for you. What can we do for you?
Word of your recent endeavors has reached a good portion of the city around here. We are looking for a crew that could undertake a job that is outside of generally what the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh endeavors. We don't want it connected to us, but we do have a group of cultists that need to be shaken up, rooted out.
Cultists, eh?
Mm-hmm. They're preparing themselves for a transformation. They believe that the dark gods that they worship will transform them, will change them. And we do know that they are affecting certain people in our own church.
And what do they think they're going to transform into?
You have to ask them which are the evil forgotten gods it is that they happen to follow.
And what is it you'd like us to transform them into then?
The thing about cultists is they tend to be rather terrified, weak-minded people. At least in the beginning. They've had some new recruits, and if the upper members of the cult are killed, that would be fantastic. But we at least want some of the sons and daughters of our people who have recently gone to join to be dissuaded from staying with them.
Now, right now, we've got a lot of heat on us from killing others right now.
Oh,
So
you have
I'm
heat.
sorry.
You have heat here.
Don't worry, cultists.
I'm just trying to check here because isn't there a is it Barrowclef? Isn't there one that's one of the districts is a little more haunted than the rest of them?
I don't know.
There is one that, yeah, I don't remember which one, but I remember reading that.
I think it's at the Hollows, but I think that must be in something else that I'm also doing stuff with because I don't know why I'm thinking of that.
Oh, they don't have anything in the index for
Trade
districts.
Center. I'm looking right now at the thing for some. Maybe 6 towers. 'Cause Char Hollow sounds like it would be. Oh yeah, 6 towers. Yeah, I'll make that. The thing here is they're further away from your territory, so not necessarily something that the heat will so much come back to you. For there, you're going to be strangers.
And what kind of donation would you like to be making to the church with this kind of retrieval of your family?
He goes, I believe the church can see fit to, and at this point, we'll do the standard coin haul.
And as he says the church, I look over at my brothers. Give them this ignorant fool thinking they're the church. We're the fucking church! And then I kick him into a well. Is there a well nearby?
She's a reasonable one.
Yeah, he goes. As I started talking, basically the church would be paying 6 coin.
Must love your family. Well, talk to my brothers about it. Where can we find you?
He goes, I'm not. He's pretty easy to find over at the church.
What is the name of what? What's the name of this cult?
We don't know the actual name of the cult. We do know their symbol, however. And he has a. It's a symbol of a crown that is a broken crown. Oh, that's right. You gotta do it this way. Let me make that smaller. Symbol of the broken crown. Now, there are a lot of places in Six Towers where not a lot of people go. It has been damaged quite a bit. But this is a piece of paper with a drawing on it. He goes, this is how you'll recognize them.
Right. Well, in that case, my sister will think about it.
Just kind of nods.
I'm just trying. He's basically at this point, he's trying not to slur too much. He recognizes that he is, even if he was in charge, he is not. Even if he were ostensibly in charge, at this point, he would be ineligible to be in charge.
Do you want to?
In
I
that
think
case,
someone's going to have to.
My sister will consider. She'll think
don't-
about it.
You don't know cults.
Fucking cults. Fucking church of the fucking ecstasy of the fucking flesh. No offense.
What about your cult, mate?
Oh, do you ask him that?
No.
That's-
That was a suggestion for drunken accidental offense given.
Yeah.
No.
You know, the cult of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, not the biggest on senses of humor about their religion.
Why? It's a fucking joke. Boom!
Oh, have you ever heard of this in the real life thing? Have you heard of the? It's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
I've heard of that.
It's supposed to have both the place where Jesus was crucified and also his burial thing. But one of the things is there's I think it's 6 or 8 different churches technically own that place, and there was several hundred years ago this really detailed thing drawn out that everything would remain sort of as it was, and all this stuff would be shared between them. I found out that there was a thing where there's a ladder that has been in the same place for many hundreds of years because that's where it was when they signed it. A fight broke out, sending people to the hospital because it was there's a chair or something up on the roof where one of the priests, monks, or whatever moves the chair to be more in the shade while they're up there. Because it was moved, it broke into a fight that sent people to the hospital.
Well, that's what religion gets you.
It's crazy, y'all.
Right. Well, dear sister, I think it's time we sleep it off and talk about it in the morning.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Do it right now. I feel like 1,000,000 coin. I could do it. Let me get my cudgel.
Let's get a few winks in us then.
Oh, come on, get it dark. We'll do it right now. We can do it now. It'll be fine.
I gotta take a shit. So no, we'll do it in the morning.
You also know if you end up heading way the fuck out there, it'll be like that thing in Swingers, Vegas, Vegas, and then 4 hours later, Vegas. This is like this is way the hell over there.
Mm-hmm.
That is
I don't think
quite
he's not in the condition to realize
a
that right now.
distance. Top shape. I'm on it. Let's go.
Good night. Go sleep that night.
Oops.
Does he need help getting? You need help getting home.
No, I'm fine. I got it.
I'm gonna go with him and make sure.
Okay.
I might need a little assistance if you don't mind me walking with me, brother.
I'll.
Cool. Do we
So,
have any
in the morning.
Hopefully it went smoothly.
Do I wake up covered in blood?
Do you?
No, God, I hope not. No, I don't.
We gather in the we gather on the table. And we're like, all right, let's talk about that job. And you're like, what fucking job? We agreed to a job without talking about it with me.
Yeah, no, exactly. What fucking job?
We'll have to explain it all. And we do.
That's funny. I had a dream about a broken crown. I think it's a sign.
We're going to call this job the Jack and Jill.
I don't get it.
Jack and Jill went up a hill, fetch a pail of water.
I don't get it.
Jack fell down and broke his crown. Broken crown.
No, see, brother, that's talking about crown as in the head. But his dream was about an actual crown that, folks wear on the heads.
It
Different
broke.
Different crowns, bro. Different crowns.
So one half a dozen of another.
I don't get it.
I'll explain later.
When I lived in Philadelphia, there's an ice cream company there called Jack and Jill. So I used to tell people that the radio stations were having a contest. So you call this number, and like the seventh caller, like they'll start a nursery rhyme, and you got to finish it. So they always answer the phone, Jack and Jill. Those pranks we play on people new to the city.
Nice.
All right, so we go over it, and 6 coin. He's going to pay 6 coin.
6 coin.
All right.
Good score.
All right, we need to find out what we can find out about the broken crown, apparently.
So now would be a good idea for survey? Or not?
Yeah. What is survey again?
It says survey a location or situation to understand what's going on, sense trouble before it happens, or gather information about opportunities or exploits.
Okay. So yeah, at this point, are people going to go out and try to look for some information, try to find out some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like you're going to sort of scout out the territory a bit.
Yeah.
Dave? What about Sai and Primo?
I am. I'm going to try and find out. What kind of dangers we're going to face from this cult.
Okay, and how do you want to do that?
I'm probably going to. I guess I'm talking with. Let me look. I want to find out. I guess I'm going to survey too. But we couldn't if we're looking for. I mean, Dave, what are you looking for?
I'm specifically going to try to gather information about how we can get to them.
Yeah, it sounds like
you're trying to find where
you're
they
sort
are.
of like scouting out territory.
Yeah, specifically where they are and where they're vulnerable. Those 2 questions. that small plan.
Okay.
And when I roll this, is it a risky or I was going to say controlled, but I don't know.
Oh, risky.
Risky.
Well, I'll say this before we just it's well because like this it's going to take you a while to go all the way over there and do stuff. Let's get so Mikey, find out what you're doing for information, and then also for Psy.
What kind of contacts do I have?
Um,
I mean, I've got Mercy, who's a cold killer. Yeah, I'm gonna pay a visit to Mercy to see if Mercy knows anything about the dangers of this cult of the Broken Crown.
and there's also others you might know that are not necessarily listed just on those ones.
Yeah.
So we could also know where there's other people who, oh, maybe you know someone who has some. If it makes sense for your character to have known someone like that, we can add other folks that are minor characters who don't necessarily count as an ally, but that you might be able to go to for information.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm just going to. I'm trying to think, because I'm just drawing a blank. I had way too much to drink last night and no sleep. So, forgive me with my lack of imagination today.
Okay.
Character, you mean?
So whoever I can talk to about it, that's who I'm talking to about it. God, I hate to be that.
Okay, no, that's absolutely fine. You're looking for just information on the cult itself?
I just want to know what kind of dangers we're going to face from them. What makes them dangerous? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, so I think you probably through some contacts if you look like trying to find out about this, what you can about the cult itself.
Yeah,
right,
to see people who've dealt with them. Basically, I'm doing a hazard assessment.
Okay.
I'm not trying to find the cult. That's him. I'm just trying to see what kind of shit they've been up to, who's dangerous, and how.
And Sai?
I'm gonna go to the church and try to get like a list of like who specifically are they looking to get brought back, and try to find out as much about them, like how to identify them, what we might be able to use to convince them to come peacefully, that kind of thing.
All right.
That's smart.
Why don't we start with... Actually, why don't we start with you? Because that'll be the easier... You could basically go to Roth probably the next day. He's
Okay.
like, have the ministry considered our offer?
More than that, we've accepted it.
Excellent.
How can we be of service to the church?
As I said, we wish to have this particular cult busted up, destroyed, ideally, but we'd like to see the newer recruits come back to the bosom of the church.
Are there any specific members that are higher priority than others as far as coming back in one piece?
I'll have you go ahead and make a... this sounds like sway.
It's risky. Basically, it's always risky unless you tell us otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be things that he's not necessarily going to want to discuss, and part of this is going to be how much you get out of it.
Well, motherfuck. Nobody! We're not telling you a thing!
Okay.
Anybody who looks like they might come back to the church, you make them come back.
Yeah. He's like, there is privacy that is to be considered.
It just would be easier to know who to put up maybe a less aggressive fight with when they resist.
He gives you some descriptions and like first names. Doesn't give you family names
Okay.
for these people. These are all like probably somewhere between 15 and 20.
Okay.
There's about six of them between 15 and 20, male and female. But all ones who apparently were children of members of the church who seem to have recently been essentially brought into this cult.
Is is study like more for like actively trying to figure something out, or is that also like just recalling like things we've read in the past and common knowledge and stuff like that?
Um,
Study
it's
is
a little bit more. I mean, it's for a little more in depth type of stuff.
Okay.
trying to remember something is different than examining a book in detail
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But they're also kind of abstract. So, well,
or a
then
library.
are there words from your text that might maybe help remind some of them of the fate they left behind? You want this
Um,
done peacefully as
yeah,
far as
at that point, like there is uh, a prayer of the body. Is gladly, and he even writes. Are you literate?
yes.
He writes down a few for you. He goes, I might suggest you come to a sermon, discover sometime what it is that the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh is able to bring. This world is a wicked place, and the spirit is weak, the body can be made strong.
Well, sounds like a good thing to have in this world.
Okay. And so yeah, you basically it's sort would sort of be the equivalent today of like the Lord's Prayer, a few of the kind of better known prayers that someone might use. It's also the ones that are often said in a church.
Yeah, a
So
few of the like the top five verses, quoted verses, that kind
mhm.
of thing.
It is very tempting just to start using like the Hammerite. That's what I should do. I should put some of the Hammerite sound audio in here. Um, so yeah, so you basically got like here's to look for fairly young, so the not too young, but I said 15 to 20. So they're going after kids, young adults who are starting to kind of go off on their own a little bit more. Mikey,
I'm going to be asking. I'm probably just going to go through.
well you know Clave. Clave has her ear to the ground
Oh,
for a lot of different things in the city. And you do know that she often does kind of keep an eye on cults and such.
okay. Um, what is her preferred? Whatever her preferred alcohol is, I bring her a bottle because it is my mo. In general, you know.
All right. Yeah, you bring her a bottle of absinthe.
Cool.
And
All right.
is she meeting you at a particular spot?
Yeah, we're gonna meet. We're gonna meet at a public park.
Okay. Yeah, that little park that Paul pointed out earlier.
Yeah, over there in Charter Hall.
And you
right?
got you got a couple of the like. It's the interesting thing between the families with a little bit more money, who have come there and they're with maybe a servant. These aren't like huge hoity-toity, but they've got servants that are more bodyguards than anything. Kind of with the kids, and then there are some of the local street urchins that run around the park a little bit. There are little gatherings of a little more like rougher types, drugs and other stuff that are in some different places in the park. But she's in front of a statue of the broken world. There's water sort of coming out. Like part of it's supposed to basically show like the moment that the I don't remember the specifics of it, but basically the world itself was broken, so that the cities had to be enclosed by the lightning gates.
So I walk up beside her and I go, I imagine this is supposed to be quite profound.
Just, do you ever wonder what it was like when we could just live outside of the cities? Is it fuck? I gotta read back through the fiction stuff. If I'm remembering, is it always a little bit dark? Is like the sky kind of scorched?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun's shattered.
Yeah.
So the brightest times are dawn and dusk when the shattered remnants of the sun are visible.
Yeah.
During the day, it's like a little darker dusk, and then during the evening, it's night.
Yeah.
So
It's just when the sun was out and things were bright, you didn't have to have these lamps for everything.
nah. I like the dark. It covers all manner of sin, you might say.
That it does.
I brought you a present. I know you like the absinthe.
Excellent. So she kind of looks at it. She's like, not a bad vintage.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if you have vintages of absinthe. Yeah, she goes,
it's a good month.
Yeah, it's just sins on your mind.
Actually, yeah. I know you got your finger in a lot of pies what concern cults and whatnot, and I'm assessing the potential threat of one you might have heard of called the Broken Crown.
Let's make a roll, see how much she knows.
A luck? Or do you want me to consort or sway?
She's a friend of yours. It could be either consort or sway.
I'll go with consort. They're the same, so it doesn't matter. Risky standard?
Yeah.
3.
Okay. And so you tell her the information that you've got?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a moment, she's like, Broken Crown. Probably the Lost Crown. One of the Forgotten Gods. I know east in the city, somewhere on the Six Towers area, they have cultists. They've been a little busy recently, but I mean, with any cult, it's a little hard to tell. They're very secretive about what they do.
Yeah. I imagine there's probably not much you know then.
Now she's like, the problem with cults is there's so damn many of them. They don't like to let people know what they're doing, and half the time what they're doing doesn't make any logical sense. It just makes sense if you have the mindset and fucked up beliefs that particular cult has.
Sort of like gangs.
Gangs make sense.
Well.
Money, camaraderie, security. Cults, I mean, they form a family of such, but it's
money, camaraderie, security,
power,
and then some extra fucked up shit.
Bringing a god across the borders between the spirit and then the natural world, all sorts of things.
Who knows, Clave? Maybe what they want is to be able to go outside while it's light out and stuff. Not have all these lamps and whatnot.
I think we missed our opportunity for that maybe a few hundred years ago.
Well, yeah. Look, thank you. I appreciate it. If you ever need something, you know where to find me.
Will do. And Doggy.
Walking around the city, looking at stuff and things.
So yeah, you probably take the canals kind of the way towards there before you end up on foot.
Yep.
Checking it out. All right. Make a roll for your sort of scouting out the area, trying to find.
Risky and standard. And I have no bonus, right? I don't have a bonus for, just one dot in it. So.
All right.
At least you know where they are.
Yeah, you're the only one who got standard information. You can have clarifying follow-up questions. You get some good details. The lucky thing for you, cults and gangs do have a lot in common. And one of the things is a lot of them tend to have turf. There's a few of them, it might just be a building. That turf might just be the individuals. In that case, those are the things that are marked. Tattoos, something like that. But gangs that do want to kind of like let people know that this area belongs to them, and cults that do the same, they put up graffiti. They tag places. They put signs up that say, here, you don't know they're called the Lost Crown yet. You'll find that out when you get back and talk to Primo. But you do find crude representations of the crown. And you also are seeing, there's a couple block radius where you see them, and there's so this part of Six Towers itself, and here, let me double check the stuff on. One of the things is that the various districts have some special rules. This one actually does not necessarily have a particular one. But the many empty buildings and abandoned properties make this a district a perfect lair for hidden scoundrels layers. There are large parts of this that are, for all intents and purposes, empty. As you're kind of in this area, the whole town seems a little more haunted. I mean, the other thing is there are the literal fact that there are ghosts and such are going to be in some of them. You definitely catch in a few of the the older buildings, look like they have not been occupied in a while. Sometimes a flittering thing like going by the windows. But you do see kind of milling around the area that is marked off by the crown's symbols, a group. You are going to notice a few of them that are kind of within the age range, and you'll have a couple general descriptions that Sai got.
Okay.
But yeah, you basically know this abandoned, wrecked church that looked like something had crashed through the roof of it. At some point, like part of the roof has collapsed, but it looks like parts of this old church have been built up. It may have a fairly expansive underground area that may possibly connect to some of the canals or something. You have to kind of get into it to find out.
Is there a way for me to get in undetected?
If you get it, that would then turn into like a whole kind of thing on its own. It'd be difficult.
That would be the score.
Yeah, because you have a whole bunch of people kind of around that area. You do see that there are, I mean, getting from up on the roof, there are some ways to like possibly climb up that way. It'd be a little hard. Like it looks like from what you can tell, and maybe you pop up on like a neighboring roof or like about a block or so over.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it from all the around the perimeter of the building.
Yeah, you can see some places where some building has been done below the damaged roof, and very often people have to like when they do stuff like that. These older, larger structures, they have to have ways to get up to that area for things like snow or too much rain to the damage. So that might be a way to get into it in a place where people aren't necessarily looking.
Gotcha.
And getting to the roof from these older buildings that have gotten some broken, climbing up is not like super easy, but it's also not terribly hard.
Okay. Fantastic. So I'm gonna look for a local, like maybe an establishment nearby there, like a bar or a tavern or something, and just kind of keep note of it. So that could be a place we could maybe shelter before we're ready to make our move. And then I'm heading back.
Yeah, there's a bar called the Banshee's Call.
Okay.
That is about a block and a half outside their territory.
Perfect. All right. So I'm gonna skulk back to my boat, get back, and let the guys know. Let my brother and sister know what's going down.
By the time you get back, I'm sitting there with a half a bottle of absinthe in front of me.
Oh no! Oh, Primo, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just trying it. You know, a friend who likes it, and I've never really tried it, but I figured,
Well,
I'd
what do you
taste
think?
it.
He's green.
It does. It tastes very green. It's,
Well, you've tasted it. Let's stop right now, so we can talk about this six coin.
yeah, that's not a problem. Absolutely.
Put a cork in it, and let's talk.
Right, the cork's in it. I'm just going to finish what's in my glass.
Can I try it?
Yeah, sure. And I pop the
Right,
cork
thanks.
off and pour
No,
you
no,
one.
I want open the thing. Give me yours.
What? You
This
want to
is-
try it?
Just a sip.
Right. I just pour you a sip.
I don't want a whole thing. Come on.
You two
Go ahead,
milk
taste
knock
it.
it off so we can get to work.
Thanks.
You
Yes.
fuck.
You're right. It is green.
And I throw back your sip, put the cork in it. You fuck. Right, well.
All right. I tell them,
Bad doggy.
yeah. Well, I found where they hang out mostly. It's an
Where's
old
this dog?
broken down church. Blah, blah, blah.
So you tell us what you learned.
Yep.
Look, and I basically repeat, Clave. The problem with, but I make it seem like it was me. The problem with cults is that they're secretive, and you just don't know what they fucking want because they don't make sense, right? But much like a gang, they're always doing some. What was that? Oh no, you said it. It was.
Stuff.
Oh yeah, you were talking about the graffiti and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode is basically the Big Empty. It's the Big Lebowski in disguise.
Yeah. Well, but
We are a
Clave-
cult ministry. Lives mean nothing.
but she did say that it was likely called the Lost Crown.
Lost
So
Crown.
that's something. It's not broke. The broken crown is the sigil. Right?
The sigil, yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it's the lost crown. It's worshippers of forgotten gods doing unholy things in the Six Towers area. Yeah,
Like you do.
Right, like you do. Well, I found where they are, and there's a place we can get close enough and kind of hang out until it's dark and we can make our move.
So all we need to know then is who we're going to convince to not be in the broken crown, in the forgotten crown anymore, right? The lost crown.
Right. So did you get us some names?
Just some first names. They weren't very forthcoming. Wonder how much they actually care about their damn families.
Well,
I did some prayers, we can say.
The problem with churches is the same as the problem with cults.
You
They're
said
secretive.
Said that already.
Trying to do unholy things and always putting up statues with what to mark their territory.
Right. Well, you know what? Maybe instead of having the names of the members who they want to be protected and returned, we find out who it is that is established and been there, worry about them and take them out. And then the leftovers, we know they can be returned to their families.
Yeah, I suppose it just depends on what we want to do. Do we want to, in fact, target the higher ups and do violence on them, unto them until the wayward sheep are returned to the flock? Do we want to sneak in and try and physically remove those and then scare them until remove the sheep and then scare them until they return to the flock? Or do we want to I don't know.
Oh, those are interesting options. I
Well,
like the scaring bit.
yeah.
Or do we even need to sneak in? I mean, could we? I don't know. Cults like gangs, they mark their territory, but they're also always recruiting, aren't they?
True.
I mean, we could
pretend to be recruits.
join a cult. Who wants to join a cult?
Is it Thursday already?
I didn't say start a cult.
Their priority seems to be the return of their wayward members. And from what I understand of faith, or whatever you call it, you can't just scare people into believing shit. So maybe discrediting these elders instead of hurting them.
Well, what do they stand for? That's what we need to know. What are their tenets?
Culty things.
Well, right.
This is an ethos.
So we just need to decide what we're going to do. And basically, are we just going to assault the place? Are we going to sneak in and get them out? I'm just picking our plan. Is it assault? Is it deception?
I'm thinking deception, because
is it stealth?
that's stains on me good dress.
Or do we want to? I mean, we could go social. We could try and meet with the higher ups, negotiate, bargain, or persuade.
And then if that doesn't work, then we use one of the others.
Transport's probably out. Occult, engaging a supernatural power is likely going to happen whether we want it or not.
Good God.
I can't imagine.
I don't want to start there.
All right.
I
I'm going to
don't
take a
know
quick
that I
bio
can-
break, but we should. I mean, I'm all for assaulting, and sooner or later, I'm going to hit someone or something, or at least look like I'm going to hit someone or something. Let's be honest.
Since this is
Um,
already outside of what we're normally used to doing,
The question is, are we going to assault them head on? Is that our approach? Are we going to deceive them by trying to join the cult and then try and get the kids out? Or because we don't have to make a whole plan right now. That's
No.
what flashbacks are for. Or are we going? All we need to know is how we're going to engage. Are we going to? And I think that our 4 real options here are assault, where we, just do an all-out assault. We go full foghounds on them. Deception, where we pretend to join the cult. Stealth, where we sneak in to try and steal them out. Or social, where we meet with the church or the cult elders or whoever and try and negotiate the release of these
I'm going to vote
cultists.
for social first. I say we try to negotiate, since again, this is outside of our norm. And if that doesn't work, then we go with our strength, which is assault.
Well, obviously, we're just choosing the point of contact, and eventually, we're going to go with our strengths anyway. But
We're going to talk to you until we don't.
until you no longer want to talk, and then we're going to talk to you. That's when the conversation begins.
If they join,
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
if we join them, they'll give us one of their uniforms, which means that when it does get bloody, we don't have more heat piled on us. They'll just think it was some cult civil war.
Here's my problem.
Paul,
with
you also
that,
got
is
really
that-
quiet again.
Oh,
Yeah.
I apologize for that. I'll check my volume.
Here's my problem with that approach in general. If we join them, which sounds like a great idea, we're not going to be able to go loaded for bear.
My microphone volume is at 50% again. How does that keep happening?
I don't know, but that you got really loud there.
I turned it back up to 100.
So, but I think that we should. I'm. Deception sounds cool, but it just doesn't.
Not playing to your strengths?
I feel like it's not playing to our strengths. It's playing as far away from our strengths as possible, because we're going to have to go in with light loads to appear like we don't have anything, which doesn't really bother me because a light load for us is technically a medium load.
Yeah. But it's just, as we're building this reputation, it might be nice to practice alternative routes of accomplishing our goals, so we can maybe surprise somebody that needs to be surprised down the road.
Sure. I think stealth is out. Trespassing unseen. Unless it's stealth with an eventual assault.
That's why I
I
suggest.
still want it to be fun, brother. Yes. We're not going to
All right.
sneak in. Like
I'm gonna go pee. You guys think about how you want to, what you want our engagement point to be. Whether you want it to be negotiation, stealth, deception, or assault.
Cool.
And whatever you guys decide, I'll be in on. I'll just assume that the absinthe let you convince me.
I'll do the same.
All right. Be right back.
And then you're going to forget.
other one, there's nothing to say. I mean, I'm fine with it.
Well, the reason I say social first is we can be prepared, but it might actually work. If our reputation has gotten this far, we might be able to say, look, we don't want another fog hound on our hands, but we're not afraid to go there.
Yeah.
Just give us these people and we'll leave you alone. If not, prepare to be destroyed.
No, I just had an unrelated idea about the long-term, perception of the gang. What if we told people that we weren't even the ministry? We were just the ministry's agents. You don't even want to piss them off if you think we're scary.
I've always assumed that that ministry was just a play on Black Church.
Yeah.
So that we don't actually feel, and we're just, it's a big joke to us.
It'd be hilarious if you're the only person who thought that.
Yeah,
there's something. No, we're a church.
That's why I think this tithe joke is pretty funny.
Yeah. From the first time, I thought it was great.
Is Mikey starting creating the ballad of the ministry?
No, I was actually I had this wild hair to learn Kiss's Creatures of the Night. Because I'd never, and I was just thinking about it in my head, and I picked up the guitar because nobody was here, and then I became douche with the guitar, who kept the guitar out even after people came. So.
The guy at the party.
I gave my love a cherry.
I like how Stephen Fry was going, the thing with English and English and American comedians. He goes, the English comedians want to be the guy with the guitar.
Yeah.
The Americans want to be Jim Belushi smashing the guitar.
Ludo.
I'd prefer to be John Belushi smashing the guitar.
Or John
Jim
Belushi.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi seems like a weak imitation.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, I have a better chance of being Jim Belushi smashing the guitar.
I will say what you want about Jim Belushi, but he has managed to make John. Wait, who's the one alive? Jim.
Jim's alive.
Yeah, Jim has managed to take the fact that people were like his brother and made it a career.
He is much better at it than, say, Kevin Farley.
Yeah. Well, I've actually met Kevin Farley.
I'm sure he's a great guy.
He was one time. It was at the bar across the street from Second City, and a friend introduced us, and he was an affable guy. Seemed really nice, but yeah, this was right before Chris Farley took off, before he started on SNL. Crazy. Anyway,
all right. Paul wants social. Dave,
social.
Sorry, I mean, so he wants either deception or social. Sorry, he wants one of the two social plans. You want to negotiate. Paul, what do you think?
Let's give it a shot.
All right. Our plan of attack is to negotiate, bargain, or persuade with the church. We need the detail we need is the social connection, which I assume that, I mean, we could probably assume, if it saves you time, Michael, that if we hang out at that bar, the Banshees call, eventually we'll figure out who the elders are and set up a meet, and we can start at that meet.
Yep.
Cool.
And actually, so I would say go ahead, because there's one thing I rolled that's going to happen. When it won't affect the engagement roll to start with, but what it's going to do is, one of the things I rolled is they're on the thing that they one of the kinks of the plan is, and one of the occultists has foreseen you coming.
Oh fuck!
So actually, when you show up to the Banshee's call, first everyone's going to want to just determine your load.
Yeah, I'm going to take. I'm going to go with a normal load. I'm not going to go heavy load. I'm going to go normal load. So, but because of the cutter rigging, that's 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go heavy.
You're going in loaded for bear.
I'm going in loaded for bear.
Just remember that might affect your movement. Is the
Right.
only thing. Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Normal.
Yeah, and as I'm recalling, yeah, if you get higher up on there, it's is it just heavy makes certain movement things just a little bit harder?
Heavy is completely obvious. It heavy means that people know you're going in loaded. You look like you're going into battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want them to know.
Normal looks like you're on the job. Light means you can conceal your shit.
Yeah. You might just
normal, you might get away with being inconspicuous, but heavy, you're going to war.
Yep.
Yep, and I want them to know that this negotiation, should it fail,
Well, brother, do you think then that I should also go with heavy?
that's up to you.
I mean, if we're gonna go with my negotiating strengths.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I should go with normal, huh?
Here's the thing: is that the negotiation isn't going to fail. We're going to get what we want. The compromise may fail. They may not get anything they want. Your black
that's
bridges
the
act
plan.
like it.
We'll see if that happens. I'm sticking with heavy.
Okay, so we've got.
Then I'm gonna go heavy too. Fuck it. Not that I need it, but
So
it'll
you're gonna
help
have
me
one
be
die,
armored.
one die for the engagement roll. Is it bold or daring to go in and talk directly to a cult? That seems
Stupid.
in a way that is daring.
Oh sure, my kind
Oh.
of stupid.
We're being respectful by not attacking them.
Yeah, I think nothing in particular that like uses their vulnerability. However, they're not necessarily strongest against.
We're
this
not on their
approach.
turf if we're meeting at the Bansies
Yeah.
call, right?
Yeah, you're a little bit off it, so you're not in their strong points. We've got 2 there. Any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight. I don't think so on there. No enemies or rivals are interfering. I think if someone wants to make an engagement roll for 2 dice, I think you do that on, is it your crew sheet? Or is it on your character
Yeah.
sheet?
It's on the crew sheet. I got it.
Right.
You guys can blame me.
We will.
Number of dice to submit. I can't even see it.
Huzzah.
6! Holy shit! We're controlled? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, we should. Thank goodness we came in with heavy loads.
He said knowingly. Yeah, so as you come into the Banshee's call, you actually see there is there's a woman and two men with her. She's the head of a table, and there's kind of some of the areas been a little bit cleared out. People are kind of staying away from them, and they're very calmly looking kind of directly at you as you come in. Each of them have like a beer and such in front of them. There's also do you prefer like beers, ales, meads?
Yes.
Yeah.
I prefer liquor.
Mikey likes it all.
Currently, my kick is absinthe because it tastes green.
Speaking of, have you had this?
I have not.
I bought a case for $10. It's pretty good.
A case for $10?
Local Robbie's bar. It's a restaurant and bar. They are trying to get rid of their inventory, and it's technically already expired. Like by the end of February.
Yeah.
It tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just a pumpkin ale.
You fucker. All right, I'll be right back.
Sorry, didn't mean to throw things off. It's pretty good. I'm not usually a pumpkin ale guy, but
I'm running another game later tonight, so I'm gonna wait for drinking. Oh, so I was gonna run. So with the gauntlet, I was gonna run Project Dark on Thursday. But we had it was supposed to be originally 4 people. One of which let me know is I'm not able to make it. 2 of the other ones did not show up.
Sorry about that.
Because it's a thing where they can kind of
Fuck.
sign up and show you sign up a couple months in advance, you put the things up. But said 2 of them didn't show up, didn't say anything. But that's a game like we'll do like one-on-one. It's Thief essentially. That'll work really well. But before the game started, I accidentally spilled a tumbler glass full of whiskey on my mouse and keyboard.
Oh, I saw you posted that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went through and I actually could replace the keyboard because I had like the little shitty keyboard I got when I got this computer. I put that in and we're okay for a bit, and then my mouse started to just completely fuck off like about half an hour, 45 minutes in. And it's like, well, that's not going to work. And that thing finally just went completely. So I did not have a mouse anymore. So like we'll pick it up on Thursday.
Are we ever going to do the second session of the Project Dark game?
We can see about if people are interested.
All right, I apologize. Dave started drinking beer. I blame him.
It was a challenge. You had to respond.
What did you choose?
I'm drinking a Bell's Pool Time Ale, a Belgian-inspired wheat ale with cherry juice.
Ooh,
It's freaking good.
that sounds really good. I'm up for anything with cherry.
This was on the Cart O stuff that
Whoa.
Laura gave me. Anyway,
Okay.
a woman, two men, imagining there's absinthe.
Oh yeah, we'll say for you, one of absinthe, the other two has got like the things that you sort of tend to prefer. And she goes, "I'm Arvis. I'm the priestess of the lost crown, and you,
Right. Well, I want to talk to you.
on behalf of the church of the ecstasy of the flesh."
Well, yeah.
Eh,
We're aware. Our gods speak to us, unlike the church itself, which has to hope to hear something in the deep recesses of their own minds. We have a bit more of a direct connection. So, shall we speak?
Sure, let's speak.
Right. I don't sit down. I just stand at the table.
I pull out the list of the first names,
Mm-hmm.
and I just toss it down.
You
You know why we're here. What'd she say?
Oh yeah, I was going to say, but the engagement roll you had is a 6, which puts everything at controlled. So
You know why we're here.
she goes, and you just throw it down the table.
I just
Yep.
set the list down. I don't throw it down. I
Yeah.
just kind of
But just-
toss it down in front of her.
And she goes and sort of takes a look at it, and it's like, well, what you're looking for here is, whoops, damn it.
Sorry, I froze for a second.
Oh, sorry. She goes, yes, these are some new members of our church.
Former new members.
They
That's
were.
what we're here to negotiate.
Yeah, they were.
She goes, so negotiate.
Right. How can we convince you that it's in your and their best interest if they return home to the wankers at the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh? I mean, let's be honest. The people on that list, they're probably not your best and brightest anyway, right?
Go ahead and make a roll. It's controlled circumstances. Standard effect.
There's a
This would
B and
be,
a-
I guess this is sway, right?
Yeah.
Do you have B and ass on your character sheet?
Be an
Controlled.
ass, be an ass.
Controlled standard.
That's funny.
um, what's the devil's bargain look like?
Devil's bargain means they're going to start looking into you personally.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, that's the other thing I need to grab a hold of.
But, you know what? I'm willing to take 2 stress to get a bonus die on this. Can anybody here assist me?
What is it you're specific? Like, what are you trying?
I'm trying to convince them to talk them into making this easy, to just letting them go, because
Assist you.
and right now I'm at 1 bonus die, but if one of you's helping me make the case,
I will also assist. I will say, by because I haven't sat down, I'm
Right.
going to move a step or two closer to the nearest member to me and say, it would be in your best interests to just let them go with us now.
if I lifted up my my scary weapon or tool, that gives me an increased effect on intimidation. Would that change this to great effect?
The problem with intimidating cults, particularly cults of this sort of thing, is,
The worst you're gonna do is send them to their god.
yeah,
Okay.
they can be. I'll say in this case, because if it was a combat, might be kind of one thing, but here these are fanatics, so it's a little harder to directly intimidate them through. We're going to beat the shit out of you.
Okay, but
Unless we convince them we're gonna wipe them out, in which case then no one gets to be saved.
we're
Trying to teach the word.
And it also
But
something so far.
I think we're just trying to convince them that it's not worth the inconvenience to them to keep these 6 scrubs on their fucking roster.
Okay.
So there we go. 5.
Okay. She goes. So, this will move it from risky up to. Okay, Dave, you're helping.
Yes.
Yeah, make it from
What-
risky
what-
up to
what-
or controlled rather up to risky.
Why did Psy roll sway?
I thought we were doing an assist for you.
No, that would have been a group action. The assist was I got to roll an extra die because
Oh,
Dave said he
okay.
was assisting and said how he was assisting. Which is a good thing. Well, my stress, the die I took stress for was the high die anyway, but I just wanted some, a better spread.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of thinks for a moment and goes, "Well, these particular ones are new to the calls, and the new ones are always not necessarily as committed in the beginning, but they can be awfully hard to replace. Say
I'm
we cut them.
sure you can persuade others. They're not that special.
Let the woman talk, brother.
But I'm assuming since you've come to negotiate that you will have something beyond just threatening us to go with."
Well, we've often found when dealing with new people, it's best to ask what they want rather than assuming.
Paul, go ahead and make a roll on that one.
That sway.
Yep. You're now in a risky position.
I'm gonna take the 2 stress for an extra die.
Okay.
Which I didn't need. Do I take extra stress for ones? There's something that happens with ones.
No.
No, that only happens if someone's doing it. No, that's doing a group action. If that's the highest, is
And
a
that's what,
failure.
yeah.
Yeah. So that is a. If I recall, that's the other thing I gotta. Did I have that on the thing? Because if a standard one is
success.
2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 2. I need to make sure I have that on something. She goes, "So what do we want? We have a homecoming of sorts coming up tomorrow night. We could use some guards to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. Not inside of our area, but outside, maybe with the help of these particular young enthusiasts. At which point, when we are finished, You may take them with you when you return.
How about we give you, and I pull out 2 coin worth of purses and set them down, money to hire some guards, and you let them go with us now.
Make a roll.
Oh, wait. We need to be there.
The what?
I just realized we need to be there.
Why do we need to be there?
It's not a home. I'm not saying this in character at the table yet, but it's not a homecoming. It's a homegoing. And we're not taking them with us if they succeed.
Right. This is another sway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Risky.
Yep.
I'm going to take 2 more stress on this. Risky standard.
Mm-hmm.
1 bonus die. That's a 5.
Okay. She goes. This kind of pulls it in her hands. Goes. Should be enough to take care of the things that we need. And she turns to one of the people next to her. Weston. He gets up, comes back, and he's back literally within 30 seconds. The 6 of them were waiting, like, probably either right next door or in an alleyway nearby.
As you no doubt foresaw.
She goes, the gods spoke many things.
Well, if we're done speaking here, we'll be on our way.
Well, I want to hear what the god said.
Nothing of consequence, I'm sure.
And she smiles as I place a clock on the table.
No shit. I was riveted by this clock.
And she
But
goes,
I can't find it now. Oh, there it is.
I'll make a note here. I'll make a note in the GM section.
So whoever fills this clock becomes a harbinger. I'm game.
No, that is an NPC clock. Sort of like you've got the foghounds towards seizing ministry territory. This is one of those things that will eventually return. Yeah, so they all sort of file in, and then she just sort of smiles and looks and goes, "Brought all of your heavy weaponry, everything to kick as much ass as you needed, and all you needed was a few bits of coin."
Brought the
You're
coin.
hoping, but best to be prepared.
You know, I brought the coin too.
Are you perhaps interested in becoming part of an ascension?
You know what? Send me a pamphlet. You know what my dress is, apparently. I'll read it. You know what I'll do with it. Allegedly. Shouldn't you already know whether we're interested?
She goes,
I mean, fucking, how much of this don't you already fucking know? Look, you already sold these tarts. Let's fucking go. I appreciate it. You've been more than fair. I appreciate the lack of bloodshed. I would have hated to have had to paint this entire area with the blood that is inside your body. It's quite scary. I don't like myself when I do it. I do it when I have to, much like you do things you don't like to, like talking to me when you have to. I get it, but now that our business is done and you've been more than fair and amicable, let's part on good terms. Right?
she just smiles and takes her drink. Nods after you. The absinthe is yours, by the way.
Oh, I know. But I've been cut off today. See, my brother's a wanker.
You know, since they've been so fair and amicable, perhaps we could supplement the gods that those coins will buy with a couple of our own. just to make sure that the
What?
potty goes without a hitch.
Nah. They can pay for their own. Look, I'm gonna take these kids back.
All right, and I'll help.
Which one of you's Jacinda?
One of them raises her hand.
Right, Jacinda, you're in charge. Form a line. Come on. Everybody
School.
get a travel buddy. Hold on to somebody's hand. You think I'm fucking kidding? And I heft up my cudgel. I paid 2 coin to get you the fuck home. You're gonna get the fuck home, whether it's in one piece or not.
If you do want to look at that Blades of the Dark information sheet under the last NPCs.
Oh shit! Yeah, I gotta find it. Did you post the link again? Cause
Share.
thank you. And I thank you for rolling with it. Which one of you's Jacinda?
Yeah.
I heard a roll. Was that a roll?
No, that was me putting.
The doc.
Yeah,
Okay.
the doc.
I have it up from the last time, so
Yep.
yeah, I see now we have Lost Crown Cultist.
And Arvis, Clave,
Of the acolytes to prepare them for a transformation.
the 6, Jacinda.
Jacinda, and the rest. And the rest.
We're on Gilligan's Isle.
All right. And they all seem a little kind of shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Just in general, they've got that kind of a little bit of a 1,000-yard stare as you take them back from Six Towers all the way down to back to Crow's Foot.
Please do not make me come get you again, because if I have to come get you again, you're going to be missing feet when I bring you back, because I'm not going to fucking have to do this goddamn job again. Do you understand me?
Oh, they sort of... yes.
I mean, seriously, get with the ministry, the ecstasy, the flesh, or whatever the fuck. Or don't, but don't go back to those wankers. I told them you wouldn't, right?
Just, no, we're where we're supposed to be.
Well, that sounds scary and intimidating, like, but whatever, we're getting paid.
Wait, can't imagine there's any problem with that whatsoever.
We have to fucking pat them down before we put them in the church.
No,
Shave his mustache.
if you want to check over their stuff.
I mean, I'm not gonna like literally pat them down, but after she says that, yeah, I'm looking to see like, are there
Doggy, pat him down.
any, like, any bombs under the cloaks or anything?
Yeah, as you go through and check, like what they have is exactly the kind of stuff that you would have if you ran away in the middle of the night from home. It's a little bit of clothing, a little like a tiny bit of money that they would have brought, like not much.
They're Rex Manning posters.
Yeah, right. I saw that I think the person who either wrote it or directed it put a thing up yesterday on Twitter, like this is a movie that failed. This is a movie that bombed at the box office because all of you, it still remains.
On the walk back home though, I'm gonna sidle up next to the quietest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's this homecoming party tomorrow? Tell me about that.
She goes, we weren't told much of it. Just that there'll be a transformation, an ascension, a returning to the world of something that was lost.
Yeah. Sounds like a right old time then.
Right, well.
All right. So, like, how do you, when you take them back, you go straight to the church, or?
Yeah, we marched them. They've got their travel buddies 2 by 2, and we're walking down the street in 3-point formation, like walking them like kindergartners.
A rope and they all hang on to it.
Yeah.
We're the triangle around them.
Yeah.
Keep a hold of your travel buddy. Don't let go.
Swatting them with the stick when they stray too far.
Not back.
And straight to the office of was it Roth?
Roth? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Roth. Straight to Roth's office, wherever he is at.
Yeah, in his church, as you come in, he's talking with a a parishioner. He's in there and he sort of looks, and there's a moment. He's like genuine triple take. And he sort of looks as you come in, and he holds a hand up to the person he's talking to, and like comes towards you quickly. Because that was amazingly fast.
We do good work, sir.
We could have taken more time. You didn't specify you wanted us to.
We could take him on a lap around, Crow's Foot.
We can bloody him up and we can bleed a little, but that's going to cost more.
No, that's absolutely fine. It sort of was like looking over all of them, and it's like, child, Jacinda, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. It's good to be home. And is like talking to each of them to see that they're okay, and he just sort of turns, he's like, happened very quickly. Did you kill the cult?
Nah. And I hold up my hand. I just hold up my hand, and I say, "Pay first, then we'll explain."
Come to my office. He turns towards one of the other priors. Say, Jeffrey, if you'll take care of them, and he kind of goes over and works.
Yeah, Jeffrey, give Jacinda a cookie. She was an excellent group leader on the way home.
He just sort of looks. He's like,
"You guys understand the buddy system in your church?"
Cookies are for those who do not keep their body in perfect condition.
Well, then give her a fucking carrot. What do I care? A mushroom. I don't give a shit. Give her a treat, a reward, something, a pat on the head. Jacinda, you did a good job, darling. Don't let him fucking tell you don't deserve a cookie. You might not get one, but you deserve one.
She just kind of looks and smiles and just kind of turns back to him. She's like, I would like a cookie. And he goes, we have no cookies in the church.
Well, maybe that's why she joined a fucking cult.
Yeah. Time you run away.
She went to the dark side. They had cookies.
That's our recruitment flyer. Like on every post, is like, come to the ministry. We have cookies.
Oh, I'm not making any friends today.
And you go there, and Roth is open. There's one point where Roth is, if you're doing this, just goes from inside of his office. He's got a safe. Right. And he's pulling out some money and provides it to you. Your 6 coin.
We paid him off.
It was that easy.
Yeah, we went to talk to them. They knew we were coming. Their guard told them we were coming. We came in with lots of intimidating weapons, like this one, and I hold up my big-ass intimidating cudgel with all the spikes on it that's still bloody from the foghounds because I cleaned everything but the end of it. Mm-hmm. I brought this, but it wasn't necessary because when I offered them money and pointed out that those little wankers are basically useless and they're going to have to put in more training and recruit other ones anyway, they fucking just said, all right, and I paid them off.
Yeah.
You could have saved a lot of money by doing it yourself. Although I don't think you've got a cudgel like this.
I don't think they would have listened too much to what we would have had to say.
They knew you'd send us anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, honestly, that they listened to what we had to say either. They were a bit too quick about it. They knew we were coming. They knew too much about us. And on the way back, I talked to one of your flock here. She said we are where we need to be, or where we're supposed to be. Returning them to you may have been what they planned all along, so I'd keep an eye on them, especially tomorrow night. They've got some sort of party, thinking they're turning someone into some magic god or something.
Some ascension thing.
I will send word up.
They may have actually come back to you, but I'm not sure they've returned to your flock.
We'll keep an eye on them. That would have been doing that anyway. There's no way to necessarily be sure that someone who's come back from a cult has not been brainwashed enough already.
This is true. But hey, look, Rolf, I understand you might be disappointed that we didn't, fuck them up a little bit. And I know that that's not really your thing. You don't actually do that. And I know that you might be a bit taken aback that we just paid him off and then we're poking indifference and then we're walking away and everybody's happy except really you because they already knew what they were going to fucking do anyway. But next time, if you want us to fuck them up, just pay us to fuck them up. Just simplify it, right? Because if you leave it up to us, we're going to do as little work as possible, right? Because let's face it, we're lazy and we're criminals, okay?
He actually laughs at that. He goes, "For being lazy criminals, you're remarkably honest."
Well,
Yeah. Well, and there's also, we figured you might be a bit put off if during the scuffle your family here got hurt, so we prioritized getting them back safe.
and as for honest, frankly, Rolf, we are the ministry.
Right. Huzzah!
Goes, "Very well. We'll look into
Despite
it."
myself, I like you.
Trying very hard not to, but you're charming.
I get in my own way a lot.
Yeah, he goes, "Our most important thing was to make sure that they were back. They are precious to people who are important to us."
Indeed. Well, if you need anything, you know where to find us.
Goes, "All right."
Frankly, I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to use this myself.
Okay.
Got paid.
Yep. So we go to end a score.
So we got 6 coin. So 2 of that counts as because I pulled it from the stash, the crew stash.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of it's going back in the crew stash, which means 1 for each of us and 1 more for the crew stash.
What I was thinking.
Everybody?
Sounds good.
Cool. There's 4 coin in the crew stash.
I finally got a coin.
Now this is a zero heat endeavor. This is
I didn't kill anyone.
smooth and quiet, low exposure.
Diet ministry.
I mean, this is about as much heat as just buying something from someone in a tavern, and that happens all the time.
Except it was people. We bought people.
We did. We went and bought people, and then we marched them through the streets holding hands. and they were not them, but both ends were happy. Nobody died. Sure, there's an ancient evil going to enter the world, and it's probably our fault, and it's probably going to target us, but not specifically because I didn't take that bargain.
Let's review our gang's reputations. We are daring, we are brutal, and we are now strangely sweet.
Smart. We're smart enough not to fight a cult if we don't have to.
Do me a favor. Each of you make just a 1-die fortune roll, and I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of hoping it's Mikey that rolls highest.
Oh, you want us each to make one, or
yeah, each of you make. This is for me the entanglement roll.
Number of dice?
Just one. Basically just rolling 1 die.
If you go on your character sheet on the side that has your there's a roll fortune thing.
Yeah. And then it says input value.
1.
Mm-hmm. 2, 3.
2.
I was kind of hoping it was you, Mikey. Dougie.
Sorry. You know what?
Traven.
Whatever it is.
Oh no!
You want it to be me?
No,
Make
it
me.
was just. It would have been like I wanted to be like an honest roll on this one because what I rolled was gang troubles with the usual suspects. So I went with usual suspects. So someone associated with the crew, a vice purveyor perhaps, has been gathered up. So I was like, if this was grist, I'd have taken that 4 o'clock and replaced it with like an 8.
You're calling me. You just said we weren't friends.
Traven's smoke shop, you notice as you kind of go back, is shuttered at a time of day. As you walk past it, shuttered at a time of day, it's generally open. Quick asking of someone, he has been rounded up for questioning. A couple of the people associated with the crew, some of the people that you know, have had some informal questioning done. People have come around places. But Traven is being asked questions. in a blue
That
coat
is
base
not
someplace.
By the blue coats.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Might have to do some investigation. It's, um, where am I supposed to get my smokes?
Well, so part of it then becomes, and this will be something you can kind of make a choice for. Like if you want to make a fortune roll, you can end up seeing whether you get like heat on them or possibly harm to Traven, or it's also possible to pay off. Or if you want to make it a bigger thing, you could turn it into like a job to try to get them out or do something. But let's go ahead and get the rest of the stuff for your downtime first, because part of this will be what you discover when you go off. So yeah, no heats. That's your entanglement.
He's the only one with vice, though.
Well, everyone has vice.
I'm sorry. Oh, stress. Yeah, we all have stress. I'm sorry. But can he indulge his vice without
Right
his
now.
vice purveyor?
Nope.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So for that, it could be paying off. It could be seeing whether you get heat or they get harm. Could also be a job to find a way to get them out.
Well,
How much heat would we get, Dave? Do we want to think about that? Taking heat ain't gonna hurt us, I don't think,
Well,
too much.
Well, whether it's heat or whether it's harm kind of depends on a fortune roll.
Oh fuck.
But there also could be paying it off or turning it into a job.
I would like to first off find out what it would cost to pay it off.
1 coin.
1 coin.
Pay it. Pay it.
But I only have 1 coin.
Pay it out of the fucking stash.
Oh, I can do that? You let
We
me?
can say you can do that. Oh, look. I just took a coin out of the stash. Now you just fucking paid it. We paid to get him out. He owes us, right?
Right.
There
Right.
we go.
So I got a line of credit now.
I don't
Alright.
think so. We're the reason his balls was in a vice in the first place.
Well, what did we do to Traven? Nothing.
Okay.
Thing.
Do you go to halfway?
Yeah.
Yeah, halfway. Or you're not the one who calls him halfway, are you,
No.
Conway? Yeah, Conway is at his desk and like kind of going to the precinct. There's all the things there. He's there filling out a bunch of paperwork, and just as he's kind of going, he just looks up. So, Douglas,
Yeah, brother. You've
notice you're not
put
in
a little
chains.
cramp in my style.
What happened?
For some reason, my buddy Traven, the smoke shop, got pinched today. I want to get him out.
The boy said, "Jesus Christ," or well, probably Jesus Christ, but whatever. The guy said, like, "By the gods, come with me." He kind of takes him by the arm and then heads towards like a little interrogation room.
Ecstatic flesh.
Yeah, opens it up and slams the door, like shuts the door. He goes, "There are members of there's members of the Bluecoats who are looking out for you as best they can. However, that's not all of the Bluecoats, and you went past our particular little precinct and decided to cause problems in another part of the city. Now, some of the ears aren't going to be friendly. You don't just want to be announcing who it was you're working for, because almost everyone here knows who you are. So Traven's been taken."
What did Traven do?
Traven probably didn't do anything, but Traven is associated with some people who went in, not only busted up a portion of the Foghound's territories, but killed 2 of their members. And those are members who, while they've been a thorn in the side of the Bluecoats, over in their part of, are they in Crowsfoot, or are they in...
Rosefoot.
Yeah, they're part of Crowsfoot.
Doing
You do
you a
have a lot of
favor,
people
really.
who are kind of fucking terrified of what all of you've done. So...
Well, they should be. But do people really think that taking an innocent bystander is not going to make us more angry? Especially me?
Yeah, Douglas, because that's the way it works. Yeah, Douglas, that's the way it works. They give a shit whether they have pissed off one small criminal in a gang hardly anyone has heard of. Listen, if you have a little bit of coin, I can...
You get personal here, brother.
Are we there?
No, that's my suggestion of what he should
Oh.
say.
Oh, I was gonna say if we were there.
If you've got some coin, I can go over and make a few inquiries and get it taken care of.
Yeah, I've got a coin to try to get him out.
Okay. Kind of give him stuff. He's like, this will do, because I've got some reasons to be over in that part of the city anyway. He should be back by nightfall.
Good. Thank you.
And, for Christ's sake, tell Phineas to be careful.
I'm the very model of discretion.
All right. Traven will be freed.
Oh,
Don't,
I smoke.
don't say I never done anything for you.
Don't worry, brother. You've done a lot.
Stay away from the bookshelves.
Smoke another one.
Not all good either. Right.
All right.
So I'm gonna go back.
Now, so the reminder that you are all at war, so it gives you the one downtime action.
We get 2 because we
Oh.
took that crew thing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Because
Nice try, though.
we're probably gonna be at war a lot. We might as well get used to it.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Is it war hardened? That's what it's called,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. War dogs. We're probably gonna face this situation a lot. It's best to get this out of the way early. We're never gonna live long enough.
We're the war dogs of the vineyard.
All right. If for my downtime action, if I want to take care of my sore ribs,
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun.
Well, there's a specific order to post score stuff, and downtime is one of the things, but it's
Well, we already did the payoff.
the
There's
payoff
no heat.
and entanglements.
The entanglement
no
was
heat.
Traven being taken, which then takes us to downtime.
Cool. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, sore ribs, gonna take care of that, so I won't have any harm on me.
Are you
So
asking
that's-
Sai to help?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Sai
Help with,
help with healing up my sore ribs.
I guess.
And is there a roll? Do we have to roll for that?
Mhm.
Sai does.
That is- okay.
Well, motherfucker.
Well, that's
I
a
think I-
failure. That's
Okay,
so I think that'll be 1.
I didn't say break them. Ah.
Sai's like, does this hurt?
So you have a lesser effect on that one.
So that's still 1 tick on the clock. though.
Yeah.
And for my second,
You do have another downtime action, so you can either have her do that again, or train, or start a project.
right, I think I'm gonna train.
Yeah. Also things like acquiring assets, long-term projects, recovering, reduce heat train, indulging your vice.
Oh yeah, maybe I should indulge.
If you want to take down your stress.
Yes. Indulge my vice. I don't have any bonuses. Submit. Oh, a 6.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
a problem.
You've overindulged.
What does that mean? That I
You have to pick from a certain list, and one of the possible. That's what happened to me last time,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
and I chose getting cut off.
Yeah.
Now, getting cut off might make complete sense, seeing as how
I'm responsible for.
he just got picked up.
There's also overindulgence can be attract trouble. You select a role in additional engagement. Brag about your exploits. There's +2 heat, which could also make sense if he may have said some things, or other people knew. Lost is you vanish for a few weeks, play a different character until this one returns, and then tapped would be current purveyor cuts you off.
Hmm. Yeah, and I choose.
You choose
Okay.
what makes sense for your character and your
Um,
narrative.
They're going to be tapped, or what was the first one again?
Attract trouble. Select a role in additional engagement.
I think I want to go for this, like this idea of maybe I run into a fog hound.
Well, you would.
trying.
The engagement gets rolled randomly.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm
Um,
thinking. Though. Something
you-
like that.
You could select 2 heat because he talked. Or you could be tapped. Or you could roll that entanglement because they can be super fucking interesting.
I want to do the entanglement. Yeah, like the
But
random.
they're never good. They're always interesting. They're never good.
The gang trouble could also be like one of those like a foghound gets in your face, and that might be like a quick. That might be like a fight, or either losing face a fight, or you have to. Or make example of one of the gang members, or you face reprisals from them.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
tuck tail and run or something like that. So would I get rid of my 4 stress?
Yes, your stress is gone.
So yeah. So while you're there, Traven's glad to be out of there. He's like,
Yeah.
'cause at least I know the ones around here. Over there, bunch of new assholes.
Yeah, same as the old assholes.
You're kind of drinking and smoking, and then a door opens up. The door opens up, and you see a member of the Foghounds, Moreland, make his way in.
I don't think he wants to be here.
There's a point where just the Traven just goes, "Ah, fuck."
I turn around and as he comes in, and I'm just giving him the long stare.
He just goes, you killed what, 2 people last time?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well,
I did.
I didn't personally. But he did. The royal we.
What people don't understand though is we only killed 2 last time. They keep focusing on we killed 2. We only killed 2.
Yeah, as it just kind of comes, he comes in, takes a look, goes, "You one of those fuckers that killed Stefan and Rowan?"
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Eh. So nonplussed. Okay.
He's got 2 of his guys with him. This point is just he's sort of, and like Trevin kind of like steps back from where he's talking to you, and the 3 of them are standing there just kind of staring down at you. Other people in the place looking a little bit nervous. He goes, "You want to step outside?"
I'm enjoying my smoke. And I'm afraid that you might ruin it.
I like that pause after afraid. And I'm afraid. Literally.
There's just a moment where he just kind of looks at you, kind of looks at the other. Do you want to take this as losing? It doesn't sound like losing face. This does sound like you are probably advancing their coming after you.
Okay.
Just from a mechanical point of view, because it's like either you lose face, make an example of a gang member, or they'll be the problem. This has turned to like a full-on fight here. There's this point where they sit there, kind of staring. It's like,
You're denying them their chance to blow off steam.
yeah,
So.
your little pitiful 3-person bunches of shit got lucky. Foghounds are coming for you.
Let's go kill some more.
Good. We need more blood.
Yeah, it just kind of turns. They walk up to the door, and they look over at Trevin, and go, "You need to find some new customers soon. You're about to lose at least one." Take off, and their clock for the Foghounds coming after you has filled up one more. There's only a single one left before they make a big ass play on you.
You know, I could scold you, but I have no legs to stand on.
Who do you think I learned it from?
Why didn't you kill them?
I thought I was supposed to be the bad influence guy.
You, Dad. I learned it from watching you.
When I don't have you around to demonstrate what not to do, I tend to do the same thing.
All right, then for Sai or Primo, what are you doing for downtime?
Well,
So, you want to go or you want me?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna indulge my vice. By the way, Sai, you have to indulge your vice because you have trauma, or you get, I think, stress. Right? Is that right?
Yeah,
Michael?
if you've got trauma, and I mean honestly, at your point, that might be a better idea. Yeah, if you do not or cannot indulge your vice during downtime, you take stress equal to your trauma. So right now you would just gain 1 stress.
So if you don't indulge your vice during your downtime, you're going to take stress. I am going to indulge
Sai,
my
how much
vice.
stress? How much stress do you have?
2.
Yeah, so you would gain 1 if you use it. Primo, what's yours?
I'm at 4, and I'm
Okay.
going to indulge. I'm going to drink the rest of that bottle of absinthe at Malden's at the Leaky Bucket. That's a 5, but I'm going to use my functioning vice,
Good choice.
which was it might have been called a calculated risk. Because I can adjust it by 1 or 2, so I'm going to adjust it by 1 to make it 4,
Okay.
and just get rid of my vice altogether. And then I'm we can reduce heat. How do we can't reduce a wanted level without somebody going to jail, though,
Yeah,
right?
wanted level, someone going to jail.
But
Heat.
we're at tier 0, so one of the things would either be a couple or 3 weeks, or one of us would get beat down with a level 3 harm, right? Because I think those are the 2 options.
I think so. Wanted. Yeah, a few weeks or blue coats give you a beating to teach you. Yeah, probably something like that.
I'm gonna train my insight. So I'm gonna take 1 experience on insight,
Okay.
and that's it for my vice or for my downtime. So insight. I'm actually, I get shit-faced drunk. Before I get shit-faced drunk, I just go to the library, and can you check out books at the library, or is it just like a big reading room?
Probably a big reading room.
I slip out of the library with a book, and I find something to read, but I'm literally just trying to do something to expand my mind and basically I'm learning how to study or reading how to hunt or how to tinker, but I'm just spending the time reading while I'm getting shit-faced. So I'm doing both of my downtimes at the Leaky Bucket. So I'm there with a stolen book and the rest of that bottle of absinthe and tasting green.
Okay. That you do. Blue coats. Okay. And Sai.
Well, I guess first I'm gonna have to indulge some vice. I think just with what we just dealt with these runaways, I'm gonna I think I'll just head down to the orphanage and start treating some sicknesses, doctoring up the kids.
Okay. Oh, and four was what your vice was?
Two is what my vice is. I probably shouldn't have done this.
Actually, well, yeah, because it's only 2, and it would go up to 3. That's so little. If you're rolling 2 dice.
Yeah, I thought it was 4 when you wait. I thought it was supposed to be your lowest attribute.
Yeah, it should be.
Did you roll? You just hit indulge vice because it said indulge vice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but I thought
Was
it was
your lowest attribute 2.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Then-
attributes are the groups, not the individual.
Insight, prowess, or
Yeah,
resolve,
yeah. You got 4, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, basically, when you,
Yeah.
as you get a little bit more worldly and available for stuff. Yeah. Do you want to take that? I doubt you would have made that roll if you knew you're rolling 2.
I thought I was rolling 1 die against 4 stress, not 2 dice against 2 stress.
Well, do you only have 2 stress, or was that 2 stress left over from last time? Didn't you take 2 stress?
Because in my first roll I added.
Oh, that's right. Doggy was the only one with stress at the beginning of this one.
right?
Yeah.
I had,
So I would
So-
say like.
Just take your stress.
Yeah, I doubt you would have tried to with only 2. And rolling at least 2 dice, that'd be kind of a foolish roll to make.
unless we just want some fun.
Now
Yeah.
you are a leech, which means you could probably start a project if you wanted. I actually considered starting a project, and I think that I might as soon as I gain one in my insight.
Yeah, I'm actually going to continue my existing one, and I'm gonna track down Conway's lover and look at the beginnings of the prototype I have, check it against her measurements, put it up against her stump, see what I need to adjust.
I thought Conway's lover was a guy.
I don't know if we said.
Oh.
So him.
Yeah.
I just said the lover was a member of the Bluecoats.
Oh.
If it's a dude, then it's a dude.
With one hand.
We can go either way. For some reason, I thought someone had said his boyfriend.
It sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Let's give the boyfriend a name. Any suggestions?
Roland.
Dace Roland, who's missing a hand. Okay. Yeah, so you can kind of see Roland, and he's just like, what's all this about? As you're kind of like looking over the stump and such.
I have my brother being seen out with a gimp. Let me give you your fucking hand.
The Gimp, I'm still a useful fucking member of the Bluecoats.
I'm busting your chops, mate. Just let me take the measurements, please.
All right. You want to make your tinker roll? It would be risky and standard. 5.
Cool. That will give me 2 more.
Yep. Yeah, you kind of get the measurements you need. You think you can figure out like how to actually attach this thing without causing like so it could anchor pretty well on the rest of the arm, but without causing like a lot of stress on the stump and the bone underneath it.
And then I'm gonna do some training in prowess.
Okay.
I'm gonna go cut up some dogs in an alley or something.
Is that what you do? Is that your vicious is coming out of you hunting dogs?
Probably not dogs, but some sort of pest. Maybe like rats in the basement.
Okay.
You get 2 experience for
rat.
prowess.
But they're dying slowly.
Yeah, not hard to do as you go and you're viciously like kind of going after animals and shit, which I seem to remember that being a
Sociopathy?
yeah, I seem to remember being like a warning sign for something. Can't imagine what.
Good pest remover is what it is.
Okay.
That's my 2.
So we're kind of about 2:00. Probably not a bad time to end.
Cool.
Because yeah, when that first thing was done, I was like, oh, we could hit 2 scores, but then the downtime and the role play kind of adding into that other stuff.
Although I really enjoyed it, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, yep, not like cool, not a fight. I'm like, well, that means the other stuff is going to end up happening.
We didn't do experience or group experience. Not that I think that we got much.
But I think yeah. Well, you're the Bravos. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
So, did we execute a successful battle, extortion, sabotage, or smash and grab operation?
Nope.
I think we could say we extorted the church. But no, we really didn't. Did we contend with challenges above our current station?
No.
I don't know what tier the cult was.
No, right now there's still a 0. So that's what you get. You have the standard thing on there. I think you have at least with the church. I did add 1 to your reputation with the church.
So we could take an XP from bolstering our reputation and express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. We're kind of conflicted.
I think the role-playing stuff, yeah, I think that's a fairly strong thing between all 3 of you.
Well, I'll put 1, and if you think it needs to be more, you'll change it.
I think just the 1 for what we're doing here.
Cool. I'll go ahead and go first, and then everybody else. Never rolled a desperate action. I never addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. Kind of intimidate, but it's not coercion. I bribed them. Is that coercion? Coercion is the threat of bodily harm. So express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I did consort with the Skovlander. I don't think I did anything else there. And then struggled with issues from my vice or trauma. I did struggle with issues from my vice.
Yep.
So I'll take 1 on that, and that's it. I got 2 XP that
Cool.
one.
And Dave?
I did not have a desperate action. I did address a challenge with tracking because it's tracking or violence, and I used my my ability, the surveying ability. Right? Does that count?
Yep.
That'd be 1. And then I expressed, you express your belief, drives, heritage, or background. Or I don't think I really did any of that. Struggled with issues from your vice for sure, with finding out that my buddy was gone and having to track him down, and now causing us problems with the boghounds. Would you think that counts as 1?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now I am full up on my Mark XP according to my tally.
Yeah,
That
you
means
can take
you get to
a playbook
pick a
advancement.
special ability? Yeah.
Okay, so then that's under special abilities. Is that what I do? I pick another one of those?
Yep.
Okay.
You don't have to do it right now if you want to take time.
Yeah, I can. You guys can.
Do they have access to the book, Michael?
I think I give you the link to the Google Drive.
Yeah.
The sheets are, and it's also you could just, I think you could probably just download the sheets directly off of the.
Well, it's not just the sheets, but
the
if you
book?
actually get the book, you can look at, because one of those is veteran,
Yeah.
and I
that's
used
on my-
veteran for mine.
Yeah. Mine has veteran, vengeful, tough as nails, survivor, scout, ghost hunter, and focused.
Well, all of the other ones really describe themselves, but veteran is pick something from somebody else's playbook, which is why I was glad I had the book to open it up, because knowing that I'm getting ready to be a functioning alcoholic, functioning vice just made sense.
That can also be just the, you don't necessarily the book, the play sheets have all of the ones. It's an easy one to look through.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
My first advancement or 2 is going to be from other play sheets.
Okay. And for Paul?
Let's see. Nothing desperate. I did not address the challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I did deal with my heritage when getting drunk with Olaf earlier. And I did struggle, I think, with my trauma by torturing some vermin.
Like you do.
As one does.
And you also took stress for not indulging a vice. Does that mean he should get 2?
Is that an action too?
No, I think that just kind of counts part of that.
Okay.
That was the mechanical stuff, and then the being vicious is the acting out of it.
Yeah. Cool. Are we on for next Monday? Or are we going to do Tuesday? Mondays is working better, right?
Yeah, I think Mondays.
Okay.
Because for me, Tuesdays is hard because that's the day that's the day I'm technically supposed to be available. Though, like, if the kids aren't turning stuff in, I'm using Friday to communicate with people because then I can give them a chance to see what they've got in. We've got some of the kids who still have to pick up paper copies of stuff that are being sent home on Friday. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing some contacts then for people with Fs I haven't talked to.
All right.